Edward Bernays and the Erosion of American Cultural Foundations by H.G.FASS. Edward Bernays, often referred to as the father of public relations, revolutionized how individuals and institutions communicate with the masses. Drawing heavily on the work of his uncle Sigmund Freud, Bernays utilized these insights into human psychology to develop a methodology for engineering consent, shaping public opinion and consumer behavior. While his contributions to the field of public relations are undeniable, his work has also had profound and deeply troubling implications for American society. By leveraging psychological manipulation, Bernays helped create a consumer-driven culture that has corroded the traditional pillars of family, self-reliance, religion, and community, fostering a society increasingly disconnected from its cultural roots in the service of those with the power to manifest their will upon the masses. The theoretical foundation: manipulating the masses. Bernays' core methodology rested on the belief that individuals in a mass society are irrational and susceptible to subconscious manipulation if the right levers of control are utilized. He argued that the public could be guided by appealing to their emotions and desires rather than their rational minds. In his seminal book, Propaganda, 1928, Bernays asserted, "The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society." While this statement is often interpreted as pragmatic, it reveals a troubling Machiavellian amoral philosophy. Democracy, as practiced in the United States, could be effectively and subtly controlled by those who well understood the mechanisms of persuasion and hold the power and resources to manifest their will over everyone else. This foundation led to an era in which massive corporations and government increasingly relied on psychological manipulation to shape and engineer public opinion, blurring the lines between persuasion and coercion. Through advertising and public relations campaigns, Bernays weaponized and exploited human desires for belonging, status, and security, embedding these innate impulses into consumerist and political agendas in the service of the elite. The rise of consumer culture. One of Bernays' most infamous campaigns was his promotion of cigarettes for the American Tobacco Company. Recognizing that women represented a massive, as of yet, untapped market, he orchestrated the 1929 Torches of Freedom Parade, in which women publicly smoked cigarettes as a symbol of liberation. By linking a known harmful product to the feminist movement, Bernays created a powerful narrative that resonated with societal aspirations. Women, seeking autonomy and equality, unwittingly became pawns in a campaign that prioritized corporate profits over public health. This campaign exemplifies how Bernays' techniques shifted cultural values. Instead of encouraging personal empowerment through greater self-reliance or community engagement, he reduced liberation to a mere consumer choice within a carefully curated sandbox, controlled by those in power. This commodification of identity became a hallmark of the new American society, where self-worth increasingly became defined by purchasing power. Over time, traditional values rooted in family, religion, and community became overshadowed by a sham pop culture of consumption, manipulated by those in control, where material goods supplanted deeper sources of meaning. The decline of self-reliance. Bernays' work also contributed to the erosion of self-reliance, a core pioneering value that had historically defined the American identity. By promoting a culture of consumerism, he shifted the locus of control from the individual to corporations, advertisers, and those who hold the levers of power. For example, Bernays' campaigns for processed foods and convenience products during the mid-20th century encouraged Americans to move away from traditional practices, such as cooking meals from scratch or growing their own food. These changes not only increased dependence on corporate products, but also served to weaken intergenerational knowledge and skills that had been passed down through families. As Americans became more reliant on mass-produced goods, they also became more susceptible to the whims and designs of corporations and media narratives. Bernays' promotion of the expert class further undermined self-reliance, as individuals were increasingly told to defer to professionals, from doctors endorsing cigarette brands to economists justifying consumer debt. This cultural shift displaced personal agency and critical analysis, thus leaving individuals far more vulnerable to manipulation by the wielders of power and less equipped to honestly evaluate and make decisions based on their own best interests. The fragmentation of family and religion. Bernays' strategies also played a role in undermining family and religious structures, which had traditionally served as anchors of meaning and moral guidance. The proliferation of consumer advertising in the post-war era, driven in part by Bernays' techniques, emphasized individualism and self-gratification over communal or spiritual obligations. Family roles became increasingly defined by brute market dynamics. Parents were encouraged to provide for their children, not through time and nurturing, but rather through the constant purchase of toys, gadgets, and endless manufactured goods. Religion, too, was reshaped by consumer culture. Bernays' methods helped secularize public life by embedding materialism into the very fabric of daily existence. The focus on individual desires and pleasures often clashed with religious teachings that emphasized self-discipline, humility, and communal responsibility. Over time, religion was increasingly sidelined as a moral compass, replaced by an amoral, market-driven ethos in the service of those in power that prioritize consumption and personal satisfaction. Historical consequences and contemporary relevance. The long-term effects of Bernays' influence are evident in contemporary American society. The rise of hyper-consumerism has exacerbated economic inequality, environmental degradation, and social fragmentation. Families struggle to maintain cohesion in a culture that prioritizes work and consumption over relationships and traditions. Religion, once a cornerstone of moral and cultural identity, continues to lose relevance in an increasingly secular and materialistic society. Moreover, the psychological manipulation pioneered by Bernays has found new life in digital media. Social media platforms, for example, use algorithms that exploit human psychology to maximize engagement and profits. Just as Bernays weaponized innate human subconscious desires to sell products, modern technology companies manipulate users' emotions and behaviors with little regard for the societal consequences. Conclusion. Edward Bernays' legacy is a double-edged sword. While his innovations in public relations have undoubtedly shaped modern communication, they have also contributed to the erosion of traditional cultural foundations in American society. By prioritizing profit and control over genuine human connection and ethical responsibility, Bernays helped create a world where individuals are increasingly disconnected from their roots in family, religion, and self-reliance. Understanding this history is crucial for addressing the challenges of contemporary society and reclaiming the values that once defined the American experience that led to its original success as a beacon for human liberty and freedom.